Hello everyone and welcome back to our 40k episode where we go back into the Imperial Guard, the Astra Militarum, and we're going to do things a bit back to front this time. We're going to be looking at their commanding staff before we get into the troops, heavy weapons, elites and heavy support. And this episode is going to be dedicated to the commanders. Now, 8th edition has made things interesting for the Imperial Guard command squad, as for all forms of command squad in 40k, in that it's now separated into individuals rather than being a complete squad. So first up, the first component you have is a commander. As I said, this is typically either the company commander, who is the senior officer, or a platoon commander. These are individuals who you really don't want to get into combat if you can possibly help it. They can be given specialized weapons such as power swords, power fists, plasma pistols. You could even give them carapace armor to give them a 4+ save, which will help them a bit against some of the worst things. Heck, you can even give them camo cloaks, just to try and make it less likely they're going to get shot down. But the fact remains, they're still just squishy humans. Even the refractor field, the lovely little 5+ invulnerable save that your commander comes with as standard, isn't gonna stop very much from making him or her a pile of pinkish goo on the ground. Bolt pistols are gonna prove to be a bit of a nightmare for this guy. So anything heavier than that, especially if it's a space marine, punching him in the face is just... it's gonna get unpleasant really, really quickly. So avoid close combat unless you are absolutely sure that you're going to win, or at the very least that your command squad around your company commander is decked out enough to give him the advantage. But the reason you take this fella isn't because of his combat prowess, as good as it is for an Imperial Guardsman. It's for his voice of command. Now, obviously we don't have the latest Imperial Guard army book to properly explain how this is going to work, but in previous editions it worked essentially like this. The voice of command ability, which you can do twice when you're a company commander, you can issue orders to your Imperial Guardsmen. These can be things like move, 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 which basically meant that you got to do a double run, or you can have first rank fire, second rank fire, which basically meant that you get extra shots, and there was another one that escapes me at the moment, but essentially it allows your Imperial Guard to become much more effective. Bring it down, that's what it was, which basically gives you a bonus when you're targeting monstrous creatures, and is handy when you give this order to, say, a heavy weapon team. But by himself, he is very, very useful at getting the maximum potential out of your guardsmen. And you will surround this guy with options now. You can take him by himself if you so choose, although I would strongly encourage against this because he's gonna die real fast as soon as someone gets a chance to get the drop on him. So surround him with veterans who can take various forms of special weapons. Surround him with medics, such as the wonderful medics you can get with platoons and company command squads, giving you a wonderful feel no pain, which is incredibly handy. And this wonderful medic can give this feel no pain to everyone around him or her, meaning that you've suddenly got a very useful feel no pain save. You take a dude or dudette with a banner because, that increases bravery and reduces the chance that your Imperial Guardsmen are going to run away like screaming lunatics. And then, of course, you can take specialist weapon options, such as plasma guns, melters, flamers, grenade launchers. You can even take a couple dudes with more specialized close combat weapons if you really want to. And of course, you can also take a guy with a Voxcaster. This, in the previous edition, basically meant that your Imperial Guardsmen had bonuses when trying to issue orders, and the Voxcaster allowed you to have a re-roll, which is incredibly handy because the voice of the command ability didn't always succeed, and the Voxcaster gave you that extra chance to make sure that your orders got through A-OK. There isn't a whole lot of choice, unfortunately, when it comes to your command squad. The Cadian one is by far the easiest to get a hold of, although you can get the Catachan command squad for a bit of extra flavour. But if you're wanting to get command squads for, say, Vostroyans, or for the Valhallans, or Mordians, or the Armageddon Steel Legion, those models are really hard to get a hold of. Death Core of Krieg is Forge World only, and so that's going to get real expensive real fast. So the question then becomes, why do you take a platoon command squad in addition to your company one? And the answer is actually incredibly simple. The platoon command squad is one you should have slightly closer to the action because their voice of command ability doesn't stretch quite so far, as they can only do it once per turn. But this does mean that you have extra chances to issue special orders to different units, and your company command squad should be safely inside a chimera or at least in deep cover whilst they're issuing their orders. The platoon command squad being a bit more close to the action, you should probably expect them to not necessarily survive the game. However, they might be able to, especially if you give them some nice heavy weapons like nice specialist weapons like plasma guns and melters and flamers, just to discourage people from getting too close. And the other kind of variant of the company and platoon command squad are the tank commanders. Now these operate in a very similar way, except of course you stick them in a tank, and these commanders can issue orders, which is frickin' fantastic because when you start issuing orders to tank squadrons, oh me oh my, that's a lot of heavy firepower you're now directing with a great deal more accuracy and determination. So this is a little quick Imperial Guard video just because, well, it's nearly Christmas and I'm still trying to get things all caught up. Life being what it is. But I do hope that you're all having a fantastic holiday season despite the COVID. Make sure you reach out to those you care about and make sure that you check in on people you may not have heard from in a while. It's important to keep those connections. Anyway, I just wanted to say thank you all so much to everyone who's been supporting this channel. This has been a pretty wild ride so far, and I never thought I'd reach 140 subscribers before Christmas. Thank you so much to everyone who's supported me thus far, including, and not limited to, the Patreons who are making this dream slowly become more and more likely a reality. Anyway, I just wanted to leave that there. Thank you all very much for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful Christmas. Take care, everyone.